All right, I'm back here and doing my inner and outer tie rods on my steering. And actually what happened is I replaced the outer tie rod and I didn't replace the inner one. And so, of course, once you replace them, you want to go and get it aligned. So when I went to the shop, the guy there said that he didn't want to line it up because he felt like there was some more work that was needed. And I had no idea what he was talking about because I had just replaced this because it was making a clanking sound. And in a roundabout way, so I came on back home, I found out that my inner tie rod as well was bad. And I failed to replace it. He knew it was bad. But I didn't take it there to have that work done. I was wanting an alignment. I don't know necessarily that he even checked it, but he didn't align it. And he told me once I found out what that problem was that I was having up there in the front that he felt in the steering, that then he would line it up. And I'm glad he did that. At first I wasn't because I didn't feel I had a problem, but when I came back home and began to look around, sure enough, he could have lined it up, but it'd been a waste of money because this inner tie rod was bad as well. So make sure if you're going to change the tie rod, the outer or the inner, make sure you're checking both of them. And I guess it would be a good practice to go ahead and replace both of them. But at this point, I do have a new outer tie rod in. I have a new inner. And the steering is fantastic now. What was happening is it felt really loose in there in the steering, and I was having some clanking here. And to show you what that problem was here, this is the old inner tie rod there. And as you can see, I can easily move that thing around. I mean, you shouldn't be able to do that. And of course, I was getting sloppy steering. When I bought the new piece today, the new inner tie rod, you could not move that unless you really, really apply force, and that's the way it should be. Also with your outer tie rod there, and both of them are Moog parts. Moog. They don't necessarily have to be Moog, but that's what we had here local, and I could get to it really fast, so I didn't mind stepping out. And I actually ordered this one and didn't realize I needed the other one as well till today, so I went ahead and paid the little extra, so the convenience of having it on hand, went ahead and got it, put it in. Everything is fine. Now look, see here, fantastic, solid as a rock. I mean, it's ready. I know already that I'm going to need to go ahead and do the passenger side as well. Okay, I've got the tire on here, my goodness. Okay, but back here, you've got a similar setup. You've got a outer and an inner tie rod. And when I grab this, there's play in that. Now, I know the outer is bad. Need to replace it. And I'm going to go ahead and get the inner as well and just do both of them at the same time. And I'll order them online. And actually what will happen, I'll wind up paying for both of these parts. And I'll get the Moog again. Substantially less because I'm going to get it from online. The exact same part that I got at the walk-in at the parts store. But, I needed that part over there today, and so I paid that extra fee and went and got it. But this part over here, these two parts, I can get by till later on, the first of next week. And they'll be in, I'll put those on, and then I'll go get it lined up. Now, it'd be a waste of money to go ahead and go get it lined up now that I put this other side on. because once I do the other side, then I'm going to need to have it lined up again. So what I did is when I replaced this initially and then again today when I had to take it off is I simply counted the turns, was very careful to put it back where it was at so that, you know, I could drive down the road safely. But I'll need to get it lined up, and I'll place an order today for those other parts, and they'll be in pretty quick, and they'll be, you know, fantastic shape. So there again, take care of your vehicles, and you'll have a enjoyable ride. Now, when you're doing this job here, you can make it easier for yourself if you just go, and it's an easy job to do. I mean, it's not rocket science. You know, mechanic shops and whatnot would want to charge you a lot of money and say that it's a life or death situation if you do it yourself, but it's not. If you take your time, make sure you torque those things down like they need to be, and make sure you button everything back up. I had to put a tie back there because the one-use ring that came off of it is gone. You know, it broke off as I was taking it off. It's one of those kind of one-shot deals. So a tie is just as well for now, and I'll get a replacement holder at some point. It was quite different than that one. But, you know, I went ahead and took care of it, and it's in good shape. Now, as I was looking, I can see this little brace here. You can see the bushing in there is kind of ratted out, roached out. And the other side is in similar condition. So I'll go ahead and order that as well. And that's something that, you know, I can take care of and, you know, make my drive more enjoyable. But back to the tie rod replacements. You can go to the parts store, and most of those places will have this kind of tool that you can rent, and you know, leave a little deposit and bring it back, and they'll give you the deposit back. But it makes it a whole lot more doable, because if you don't have something like this, if you try and torque that inner tie rod down, it'll spin around on you. And I think mine called for like 100 or so Newton meters, basically about 70 foot-pounds. But with that tool, that specialized tool, you can put that there like that. And then this big RPG looking thing, you can, and it was brand new. I mean, I took it out of the plastic when I rented it from the parts store, and they don't mind doing that because they know, you know, you're a loyal customer and you're going to be, you know, using their services quite a bit. They know me, and so I, you know, was able to rent that. So once you have, you know, just imagine that this is back in place there, okay? Back in place there, and then you take that little ring and you put it over this spot here. Then you take this and you essentially just line it up so that it goes right in there like that. And then you can lock it down. You know, so it doesn't come out on your little safety latch there. Then you put your ratchet on the end, and you know, you've got a second helper now. And you can take that out, and you can torque it back down to the specifications. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing buttoned back up, put it on the road, order my parts, and keep a good ear open, keep my eyes peeled, keep my hand on the wheel, feeling for any kind of thing that might need to be, you know, looked at or paid attention to. And that's essentially what we do when we drive. You should be looking at all of these things, and you know, because you want to make sure that you're riding something that's not going to leave you stranded somewhere, or worst case scenario, get you hurt real bad or someone else. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and that's something there that I had to, you know, maybe a little block there to lift that whole front end up, because that was a lot of weight on that one little jack point that they had there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything tightened back up, get my splash shield and all that put back out in there, and it's a beautiful day. And so we're gonna go ahead and take care of business. Till next time, I'm Brother James. Praise the Lord. Bye-bye.